What if I told you that your current reality is a direct result of the words you don't even realize you repeat every day? These aren't just random phrases thrown into the wind. They are energetic commands. And the more automatic they are, the more dangerous. If you feel like your path is blocked, despite all your efforts, maybe what's sabotaging your life isn't the events, but the words you unconsciously choose. There's a hidden verbal infection in your linguistic code. What you say, to others, and to yourself, is not neutral. Every word carries a vibration, a spell. And this doesn't just shape your routine, it might be directly interfering with your life mission as a chosen one. Do you feel like you have a greater purpose in this world? That your perception of things is different? Have you ever noticed that sometimes what you say happens, and still it seems there's always an invisible barrier holding you back? There's a reason for that. What you're about to discover in this video may explain why you've always felt different, and how reprogramming your linguistic code can completely transform your reality. Because chosen ones didn't come into this world to repeat the collective script. They came to break the spell. And it all starts with the spoken word. If you feel ready for this journey, write in the comments, "My words are the seeds of my reality." I want to see who's conscious and awake in the first few minutes. Language. As a spiritual technology. From the moment we're born, we're placed inside a linguistic system that programs more than it communicates. A word isn't just a sound or a cluster of letters. It's a vibration with a direct effect on reality. In English, the word spelling means to write out a word, letter by letter. But it also means casting a spell. And that's no coincidence. Every time you speak, you're casting a spell. And depending on what you repeat, you're either cursing or healing your own existence. Words are codes that carry ideas, beliefs, and patterns. They're like mental software. That's why phrases you repeat daily, like, "Nothing ever works out for me," "My life is stuck," or "I'm not good enough," don't just describe your reality. They install it. Those who understand Hermetic laws know that the word has long been used as a tool of manipulation. Since the time of hidden civilizations, it's been used to domesticate minds and keep the collective trapped in a frequency of limitation. Creation doesn't begin in matter. It begins in sound. And before sound, in the intention that vibrates behind it. That's why sacred texts across different traditions agree on something essential. In the beginning was the word. The primordial sound is the first step in the creative process. Every word you speak carries an echo of your internal vibration. And that echo turns into form, circumstance, and result. If you haven't realized that yet, you're still a prisoner of a code you didn't choose. Modern quantum physics has shown us that reality is made of probabilities, not certainties, and that the observer affects the outcome. This means the universe responds to the vibration you emit, including the vibration of your words. When you speak with clarity and intention, you collapse specific possibilities and open doors that were once invisible. That's why chosen ones who align their speech with their consciousness activate a kind of power that looks like a miracle, but is actually elevated science. Here are a few etymological examples that reveal the hidden power of words. Spelling, as we've seen, means both writing letters and casting spells. Authority comes from author it, the one who authors the story. The one with authority writes reality. Contract can be broken down as con plus tract, to be bound by agreement. Awaken and morning sound like morning. A morning can be the beginning of consciousness, or the continuation of sleep. It all depends on the level you vibrate at. Government breaks into govern plus ment, to govern the mind. See? Language was never innocent. What seems like a cultural habit is actually a field of vibrational control. The real question is, who wrote the vocabulary you use every day? Chosen ones aren't here to repeat words that vibrate fear, scarcity, and submission. They came to remember that every sound uttered builds a bridge between dimensions. When you awaken to the hidden codes in language, you begin to step out of the subconscious script. You begin to write your own story. And those who write their story with awareness live outside the system's control. That's the key they don't want you to discover. You don't need to master Latin or deep etymology. You just need to start noticing the vibrational impact of what you say. The question isn't just, what am I saying? But, what am I creating with this? Words filled with fear create realities of stagnation. Words filled with truth expand. And chosen ones are here for exactly that, to restore the word as a bridge between consciousness and manifestation. The quantum brain of the chosen ones. Chosen ones live in sync with something most people don't even realize. Their minds directly influence matter. The universe responds to mental commands, and when those commands are spoken with intention, their power multiplies. Words shape perception, belief, and emotional state. And emotion is nothing more than energy in motion. When you shift your vocabulary, you shift your vibration. And when you shift your vibration, you shift the reality around you. Quantum physics, through the famous observer effect, has already shown that the simple act of observing changes the outcome of an experiment. This proves that the universe responds to consciousness. But it's not just any observation that alters the field. It's the one charged with presence and intention. When chosen ones speak, they're not just naming things. They're collapsing possibilities and activating realities. That's why speaking with clarity and awareness isn't a detail. It's a spiritual skill. A thought is a wave. A word is that wave's vibration in action. And reality is the reflection of all of it. When you understand this sequence, you understand why repeating words of limitation keeps your life stuck, and why words of truth, spoken from an aligned heart, can shift your frequency in seconds. This isn't a metaphor. It's vibrational mechanics. You're collapsing or expanding worlds every time you open your mouth. Control systems like governments, institutionalized religions, and mainstream media have always known the power of language. They built narratives to define what you should think, feel, and, most of all, say. Behind all of this lies the control of your vibrational field. The phrase, knowledge is power, has never been more literal, because once you know the truth about how language shapes reality, you stop being manipulated and start co-creating. There's a deep spiritual principle that few understand. You become what you repeat. And this doesn't just apply to actions, it's even more true for words. Your vocabulary attracts specific fields of information. This is called consciousness transfer. Every word you speak with emotion vibrates at a frequency that connects with compatible realities, and those realities start to approach you silently. Have you ever stopped to consider that a single phrase you keep repeating might be anchoring a lifetime of blockages? Words have a vibrational address. When you say with force, "I'll never be able to do this," you're literally downloading a version of reality where that success is impossible. The word becomes a code the universe obeys, as if you were accessing a cosmic server that delivers exactly what you asked for, even if you didn't mean to. And that's why chosen ones need more than just good intentions. They need verbal consciousness, because the power to create is, indeed, in their hands. But it demands inner mastery. Manifesting without awareness is like throwing energy into the dark. You might turn on lights, or you might create deep shadows. Poorly chosen words are invitations to chaos, but words aligned with purpose open portals. Portals only chosen ones can walk through. Silence, for a chosen one, isn't the absence of sound. It's a preparation field. Those who master silence master the word, because they only speak what's necessary, only affirm what expands. And when you understand that every word is a seed planted in the quantum field of reality, you stop speaking impulsively and start speaking with surgical precision. That's the difference between living by default and living by purpose. Linguistic reprogramming, the code of the chosen ones. Now that you understand that words are active vibration, it's time to reprogram your linguistic code. This begins with something simple but powerful, replacing limiting expressions with phrases that open up possibility. Whenever you're about to say, "I can't," shift it to, "How can I?" The mind opens up when you replace an ending with a question. And once that becomes a habit, the universe responds with paths that were previously invisible. A phrase like, "It's hard," carries the weight of an energetic block. Instead say, "This is starting to get easier for me." Reality responds to your emotional vibration, and that vibration is directly shaped by how you speak. A chosen one's vocabulary must be fertile, not sterile. It must plant dreams, not repeat fear. Every time you say something out loud, you sign a vibrational contract with the universe. You don't need to be a master of etymology to know what to say. You just need to feel the vibration behind each phrase. There's a silent knowing inside you that recognizes when something you say expands you or contracts you. Complaining, sarcasm, self-deprecation, all of that weakens your energetic field. And if you're a chosen one, your responsibility is greater, because your words carry more energy than most people imagine. Here's a simple yet extremely powerful practice: the Conscious Words Journal. Every morning, choose 3 words that represent the kind of energy you want to live that day. It could be clarity, peace, prosperity. Read those words out loud. Repeat them silently throughout the day. At the end, observe how your reality shaped itself around those frequencies. This small ritual activates the co-creation field in a subtle yet powerful way. Another advanced practice is to claim vibrational authority, even in casual conversations. If someone close to you says something like, "I'm just unlucky," you can gently step in. Don't say that. Your words have more power than you realize. Why not try? I'm learning to attract more luck into my life. This isn't arrogance, it's awareness. And a chosen one has the duty to be a mirror of transformation. Your mind is like a book of enchantments. Every sentence you speak is a paragraph written in that book. And that book is read by the universe every day. The question is, what have you been writing lately? Stories of power or of lack? Commands for expansion or repetitions of fear? Speaking with awareness is writing a new destiny. It's becoming the author of your journey instead of a side character in the collective script. Chosen ones don't speak just to be heard. They speak to vibrate, to activate, to summon higher dimensions into physical form. A chosen one's speech is a tool for healing, alignment, and creation. That's why speaking less can also be a strategic choice. Silence prepares the field. And when you speak, the entire universe listens carefully, because it recognizes the frequency of someone who's awake. Modern science is beginning to catch up with what ancient spiritual masters have known for millennia. Information creates form. The physicist and philosopher Ervin Laszlo, nominated twice for the Nobel Prize, proposed the concept of the A field, a cosmic informational field that stores all experiences, vibrations, and possibilities of the universe. According to him, this field responds directly to consciousness. In other words, what you think, feel, and speak alters the energetic structure of what exists and what can come to exist. In this context, speech is not just sound. It is a vibrational command that reconfigures the subtle patterns of reality. When you change the information you emit, you change the field you're in. You literally shift the vibrational frequency of time and space around you. This is not empty philosophy. It's a spiritual science in expansion. And chosen ones are those who are beginning to remember how to access this power with clarity and intention. Using words as conscious portals, not unconscious distractions, is part of the mission of those who came to co-create with lucidity. After all, reality is language in collapsed form, and the language of the chosen ones vibrates beyond the visible. The creative voice of the chosen ones. You were never just speaking to people. You've always been creating with the universe. Every word that leaves your mouth vibrates in the field, crosses dimensions, and returns as form, circumstance, encounters, or lessons. Speech is a creative or destructive just tool, and the chosen ones are awakening to this ancient secret. It's not about sounding nice. It's about vibrating truth. Chosen ones are living portals, and portals don't speak just for the sake of speaking. What you verbalize becomes seeds that germinate in both the seen and unseen worlds. The Hermetic law of correspondence reminds us, as above, so below. What you vibrate in sound, you attract in matter. Your mission demands that each word reflect alignment with your highest self. So from this point on, speak with intention, declare with awareness. Be silent when needed, but never underestimate the impact of a phrase spoken with soul. Because when your word vibrates with the truth of your essence, the entire universe reorganizes around you. Reality does not resist an authentic frequency. It bends, it responds, it recognizes. If you felt this truth pulsing within you, write in the comments, "My voice is the echo of my divine power." I'll feel your energy, and guided by my intuition, send you a special video, exactly the one you need to watch at this moment in your journey. After all, chosen ones don't walk alone. They recognize each other by vibration, and yours has already said it all. And remember, you are not here to find a purpose. You are the purpose experiencing itself. Thank you for watching until the end. I hope to see you in the next video. A life of infinite possibilities awaits you.